but
It looks good, Dan. I see 120 puts for Friday, but small size.
Yeah, there's too many big ones now.
What puts?
Actually, they're both. Look at they straddled it.
I see small puts for, and then I saw big calls at any calls.
So are we live now?
Are we live?
What's up?
Yeah, we are live.
Careful with echoes as well if you guys can try to go on mute and things like that, or use headphones.
Jose, could we get an announcement, please, in the server?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with Facebook.
So just for the people that are live right now, we are waiting for everyone to fill in the room, and also starting 5 minutes later, just to kind of allow people to go to after hours earnings, and then we'll start shortly at another 2 or 3 minutes.
What's up, Cody?
What's up? You got people trickling in now.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Dan. Oh wow, line. Oof.
What did Kevin have on line?
I don't know, but that's like a 20% drop. He had
315.
Yeah, they're over in the money.
Wow, that's dead. Pins is up a bit.
They make the braces, right?
Oh,
which one is it?
The line.
A line? Yeah, they do Invisalign.
Yeah, oh, your Facebook.
I thought.
Good job, Kevin.
I thought Invisalign was a different company. I thought this was like actual like hospital stuff.
Platforms. Hey, those numbers look the same.
Yeah. Look at Facebook.
Guess that dude's in a box.
Wow.
So far, I think Will has been like the most accurate earnings
counter trade for earnings. Yeah, everything I take it does
all year.
That's a huge way.
That's a beta right there. I think the pricing was at what, $25? They need a big ripper.
Jesus, bro, 191.
Let's see what's Amazon doing. Nice one puts.
Do we have the live stream channel in our server? I don't see it.
No, I don't think we do right now.
Are we going to have a place for people to be able to ask questions?
Jose,
can we get an announcement in the server too?
Yeah, they can ask questions on YouTube, and we can answer them right here on Melvin.
Okay.
Like if you see to your
in
right,
the future, we should definitely have a channel in our Discord server too.
Yeah,
we usually do.
Like these guys.
Dan is Roblox today.
No,
Okay.
no, they still have a while. I think they're next week. Oh, Amazon go down.
So did we put out the announcement internally
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah, it's in the chat. Oof, Professor, I'm sorry.
That's interesting. So on the right side, I see the chat box, but it's streaming from YouTube. So it takes
Yeah.
like the YouTube chat and brings it all into one place.
Yeah, exactly. So when we multi-stream to different platforms, all the chats would come in here, and we could deal with them through here.
Incredible. Hello, Jem.
Teledog got wrecked too.
Welcome to the stream. This is the way. And Jack the Cheap.
Yeah, I think this whole time I thought it was Jack the Chap, not the Cheap.
Is it chap?
No, it's cheap. I guess I'm dyslexic.
We'll give it another minute or two to let people roll in, and then we'll take it off.
Yeah, I mean, I think more than half the server was in Facebook, but it's gonna take a while. Here's somebody replied to my announcement, says, "Not now, Biden. Unless y'all got a therapist on there we could talk to."
Anyone have any fun stories to share for this week?
Fun story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I minted this NFT yesterday, 1,500 for 10 of them, and they're worth like 60 grand now.
Nah, dude, really?
Yeah, dead serious.
Jeez.
Which ones were they? Were they the OK Bears?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, those went crazy.
yeah. I had 10 of them yesterday at mint.
Wow. Damn. They minted for like $150 or something.
Yep.
All right, Kabir, you want to get started?
Yeah. All right. We're gonna start off. We have a couple people who came in. Thanks for being patient with us, guys. We're gonna kickstart our fourth option swing free live session, and welcome. We're super excited about today. We have a lot of stuff to cover. We're gonna have a couple announcements towards the end, so be sure to stay tuned. And we're gonna also host our usual Q&A session at the very end. But welcome to our fourth YouTube stream. We have the majority of the option swing team here, and we're gonna start off with some pretty interesting topics. First thing that I think everyone's been talking about that I want to get started right off the bat is Elon's purchase of Twitter. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's hilarious, just given the fact that it was maybe a month or two right after he had some backlash for being able to save world hunger.
Yeah.
So he chose to buy Twitter instead. But I honestly, he wasn't going to be able to save the world from hunger. But I think that's just funny. My thoughts on Twitter: I use it. Him buying it, I feel like a lot of celebrities are going to leave it. A lot of politicians are going to leave.
I don't think they have a choice. They have to stay on it.
I think it's going to be like the ones no one really cares about anyways, but
yeah.
In a lot of ways, I was looking at that like when he was doing the whole like Tesla private thing when he was like, "Hey, I'm going to take Tesla private and funding secured," and then he caught that whole entire bubble of like Tesla shares like spiking and skyrocketing, all that stuff. Then also fell very quickly shortly after when all that like aftermath happened. So when I saw him kind of like making that announcement, I was like, okay, here we go again. But then he actually got the funding actually secured, and then I was like, okay, now this is really interesting.
There's a lot of backlash about how, like, from policymakers and tax guys that are saying that he shouldn't be able to afford such a large purchase. And then there was a lot of scrutiny over, the uber rich and how their taxation is completely different than what majority of the people actually go through.
Well, I mean, it's like the same. Like Nancy Pelosi benefits from the system too, and she's criticizing him. So,
so like I guess the question is also like, is Twitter a good long-term company then, with under new management? If I remember correctly, like Twitter, I don't think they make a profit. I think they are always like bleeding money or, that kind of stuff. But like, is this a good company now that Elon's at the head of it?
They've been profitable, but it's been like an on and off thing, to be honest.
Yeah. I feel like with Elon, he'll find a way to make money off of it. The one of the really cool things is I think they want to like kind of get rid of like the verification checks. Like right now you have to have a bunch of press and basically pay for it. On Twitter, I think what he wants to do is basically make it like off your ID card, to where like if you are the person, you can prove it, you get a check mark, that way no one can pretend to be you.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that they still allowed it to be traded. I know the close of the deal takes a couple months, but like, what's the point of it? It's never going to go above 54.20, right? There's like, what's the point of who's going to buy above the buyout price, right? And then
because you get all the people who's been living under a rock who doesn't know it, and then they start buying all the contracts for options for these strikes that will never hit, and then all the contracts just lose value and people lose money on it.
I mean, we were trying to explain to people in the server what a buyout means, because they're asking us like, should we buy 100 calls or 70? We're like, no, like the buyout price is 54.20. That means
exactly
no outstanding shares once the deal is done. Like that's it. Exactly. He has all your shares, and that's what moves the markets. So that was kind of a little funny to explain to some of the members. Other than that, I don't know if that drop on Tesla was justified, because how they said that he used Tesla shares as collateral. But that's what people do all the time. They take out loans on their IRA or I mean their Roth. Yeah. Because it's a tax-free way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, people use their assets as collateral until they die. Like, it's pretty common practice. It's just that this at a very, very large scale.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if that drop was because of the collateral or because they think that this is gonna take away from Tesla. Like Elon's gonna spend more time with Twitter. Not sure how the market reacted on that.
I feel like if anything, he would probably step away from like Boring Company and SpaceX before Tesla.
Right? I think
he definitely,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, if they want to worry about SpaceX,
I just think maybe market makers didn't want him to get it, so they wanted to like have him get liquidated before the deal goes through.
I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's 100% true. Like margin call just means you gotta put more money in, right? That's all.
Yeah, you just have to put cash in.
Yeah, I mean, it's the richest guy on the face of this planet. I'm sure he'll. Oh, here goes PayPal. Oh. All right, but yeah, that's my thought on Facebook. I mean, sorry, Twitter.
Another notable thing that happened this week that I'm super excited to share with the community about is like your Netflix play, Dan, which was, I mean, I live for the day where I wake up and I'm up 2,000% on any one of my plays. So how was that? What was your psychology behind it? How did you feel after?
I mean, this is the
worst.
So fun because Warwick's the one that sent me the flow, and he knows the flow I like. It's the small one, like the 40K, 50K, 60K for earnings. When I see big orders like 200K, 300K on either side, I stay away. Like that's why I was kind of reluctant of doing the Facebook puts, because I saw big orders coming in end of day. I'm like, so I did close most of them. I did some A's, but those are still getting direct. But just all I saw was Netflix calls, big lots, big sizes, and that one Netflix put, which was only I think 60K or 40K, one of the two. And that's the type of plays I take. And then also this is when I make big money, when it's ER season. So Netflix is notorious for just dropping big on ER. So I took that play, and this is just how I've built my account to where it's at right now. I've degenerately gambled some money, but I had a really good feeling about this one. And after that, we kept the ball rolling on the put side because that just caused a crumble in most tech.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, after that earnings date, still been like 4 to 5 days of straight bloodbath.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I think like some of these companies aren't moving much on earnings anymore because Facebook dropped a lot, PayPal dropped a ton. Shopify, dude, it's like at 530 right now. The start of the week over 600, I think.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Start of the year was what, 900 plus.
Yeah, so I'm saying some of these moves are already priced in by the time you get in already. So as soon as one of these big boys drops, that's when you got to start rolling the ball. So we're used to playing a bull market, which is where we play the run-ups for ER. This time was the opposite. We played rundowns, and they paid it very well.
But yeah, that Netflix one was the worst because I sent Dan the flow, and then he posted it and took it, and I didn't take it. So then he's up, $250,000, and he won't even buy me Korean barbecue. It's
That must have hurt a little
I
bit.
bought a race simulator. But yeah, that's my. There's no real DD behind ER plays or charts or anything. It's more like how much are you willing to risk on this, and what do you want to come out on the other side? And this is what I do every ER season. I play big. It gives me enough room to play the rest of them. What's another 8,000 lost on Facebook puts or Tesla if you made $250,000?
But even if you do get the moves that you want, are you not sometimes worried about like IB crush?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
But that's why I see. That's like I said, like I was saying about the big orders on ERs. Like Jose is pointing out, big orders, big puts on Facebook and calls as well. So when you see those big orders, you got to think like, where are they doing? I think the flow is just catching one leg of a play. They're probably selling credit spreads and put spreads at the same time. And these are people. The people who are doing this, their size lots are $1 million orders. So I'm sure they have shares of Facebook, shares of PayPal, shares of Shop, and they can control some of these markets. So if they want it to pump or dump, they could just get assigned on puts after hours and just cause a theta crash.
Yeah, like exactly what Dan's talking about. Yesterday in the educational chat, someone asked me about Microsoft puts. It was a $280 puts for May 20th. It was $1.1 million. And yeah, I mean, Microsoft went up and didn't dump. So that's like a perfect example of someone just selling huge premium into earnings.
Yeah, I highly doubt they're going to put 1.8 million on their earning gamble. I mean, people might, but the odds are high. I mean, low. Sorry.
The odds are high on Wall Street bets.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Wall Street bets, that leads us into our next topic.
Kabir?
Yeah, sorry. I was having a little bit of lag there. So just my third thing that I wanted to touch upon was Will. How are you? Would you want to share with us some TA that you have for SPY and any outlook where you think we're headed, especially after this bloody earnings season that we've had?
Give me a few.
Yeah,
Let's circle back to it. I got to set up my chart on this computer.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I guess we talked about how I started trading for now, right? I started trading 2020, I want to say January. And the reason I picked it up is because I think like a lot of us, I was on Reddit and I saw Wall Street bets, just some insane amount of money that was being made. And what I did is I opened a Robinhood account. I put $1,000 in and I bought Tesla calls, not knowing what a call is, what a put is, nothing about Tesla company. And then I woke up like 2 days later up from 1,000 to like 24,000. And I had no idea, how to sell a call. I thought I had to come up with the money to buy the shares and then collect the premium. I didn't know you could just trade calls. I didn't know you could just press sell and get that 24,000. So I watched the 24,000 go pretty much to zero. And then I don't know how I met Will. I forgot. I think it's through a mutual friend.
No, yeah, you guys were at like a bar thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I met his friend at a bar. I think I met Will at a bar.
Yeah, back when I was bartending, it was like a spirits showcase that they
Yeah,
were doing at that hotel or something.
Yeah. And then his friend Mitch is the one that introduced me to option scoring because he told me that Will was a moderator. So then I joined it, and then the rest is history. We I think I joined during the perfect time. It was the COVID crash, and we rode puts all the way to the bottom, and we rode puts all the way up. And that tells a big lesson. The market doesn't really care about your sentiment. I think the biggest focus is on the Fed. And back then I don't know what the Fed was. I don't know about interest rates. I don't know about quantitative easing. And the Fed is the biggest market driver. So whatever the Fed decides is what's going to move the markets. And at that point is when they introduced quantitative easing and then almost zero interest rates. We didn't know what that meant, so we kept on buying puts. But that has marked the bottom every single time in every market. When the Fed steps in and just like loosens up. So now that's what I look at now. And right now, the way things are looking, the Fed hasn't really stepped in. They're actually, tightening up. They're raising interest rates. So it's kind of hard to call bottom. So I want to say that we're nowhere near bottom until the Fed capitulates.
Yeah, they've been pulling out from the quantitative easing that they've been doing the QE and essentially just kind of reducing majority of the liquidity that they injected the market with. So right now, scary hours.
Yeah, Kevin thinks we go like way down.
I mean,
we got what, like 6 trillion to unload.
Yeah, I mean, it usually takes the Fed a couple of years to step in and do anything, right?
Yeah.
When the market hits a bottom, it's like when I want to say there's a graphic where it's the market cycles. Is the recession is over as soon as tech starts kind of picking up again. That's when the Fed steps in. When the Fed starts lowering interest rates and when money goes back into risk. So that's when the economy will capitulate, I want to say.
Yeah. Okay. So now moving on, Warwick, can we have your trading backstory? I think the community would love to hear about how you got started as well.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to Dan. I found Wall Street Bets on Reddit, and then I lurked on the sub for a long time. And I didn't join in on the Tesla wave, but I watched one dude turn a couple $100 to tens of thousands, and I was like, okay, this should be easy money. This guy is probably just as dumb as I am, so let's do it. But I think the stock they were trying to pump at the time or whatever was Microsoft. So I think I put a few $100 in Microsoft calls, and it ran up 3% that week, and I doubled or tripled my money, and I was just hooked. Then I found an option swing on Instagram, and then I joined. From there, I mean, it's kind of history from there. It's crazy, the evolution of option swing. At first when I joined, it was kind of gambling on earnings, and then over time, as we've evolved, so as a company, and for a while it was a lot of day trading, and now it's a lot of swing trading, and now partially because of Dan, we're almost back into the earnings, way of trading. But yeah, that's kind of how I got it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. When I started because my cousin was a trader, so I started properly through stocks, and I joined multiple Discord groups, and then I got into options. But I noticed that a lot of people during lockdown and before, even a bit before or after COVID started, people straight up started trading options without ever having traded any stocks or really. So that's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, I think 2 months before I bought my first Microsoft call, I think that's when I started buying shares of companies. So I mean, I had very little experience, but I didn't know what it was. I would just put a direct deposit in, buy SPY, and then that was it. It's just crazy, man.
What about you, Will? Well, what's your trading backstory look like?
It's the same as both of them, really. I I came across I think it was Kevin's Beyond play where he made 200 grand on earnings. I think it was late 2019 that happened, and I saw that and I joined in January of 2020. 2 months before COVID, and I don't know. It did not go well for a while. I mean, like Dan said, we were shorting the bottom. It was just a complete mess. I think I blew 2 accounts. before I finally was like, okay, time to either quit or get a bit more serious about this. Yeah, it's been an absolute windfall. But it was really tough at first, like getting any sort of traction.
I think one thing that made it hard about COVID was we made a lot of money going down.
Yeah.
Like I think I turned a couple $1,000 into like 15 grand in like 2 weeks. And to me, that was like crazy money, like I'd never seen that before. And then like you said, we kept short on the bottom and I blew that whole account. So,
yeah,
like we learned, but
yeah. And I've branched out recently into crypto too, which has kind of been like my primary focus these days, just because I something about that market. I feel I just have a much better kind of sense of how it trades than I do with stocks. And I find execution to be a lot easier as well. And also, right now there are some coins that are still trading and creating new all-time highs, and I prefer trading upside. So that's kind of been my focus since the beginning of this year, really.
Yeah, I think one of the new coins that got launched that on the major exchanges that people have been trading and making all-time highs is Ape, the coin for
Ape.
Yeah,
and GMT from Steppen.
Yeah.
It's so it's trading is trading. That's the thing, like I still pitch in with like the index analysis and everything, and Dan and Work and I, like, we all have a great dynamic going, I think. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, just find what you enjoy and kind of what clicks for you, and just like triple down on it.
Yeah. Dan, we're having some people ask in the chats if you're by them. So maybe next time we'll start.
Oh, yeah.
We'll keep your name by them dips -OS on the screen.
Buy them. I'm selling rips right now, not buying them. Sorry. But yeah, I guess we talk about how we see the market moving forward from here, right? Unless Jose,
I can share a chart real quick on E-mini. It's going to be similar to what I went over in the reel yesterday, but let me pull it up.
Awesome.
You see Kevin's line. It's at 280 now. It's down 23%.
Jesus. Okay, let me see.
Look at T-Doc. If you guys are like all on the stream, look at T-Doc. It's down 38%.
Oh, wow. Oh my god.
T-Doc down makes sense, considering what Fauci said earlier today. Jesus, dude. Wasn't this like 200 or something?
Yeah. It hit like 260 at one point.
300, bro. It hit 310.
Everyone thought FaceTiming a doctor was the future.
Jeez, man. A lot of charts are going to look like that by the end of the year.
It's Kathy Wood for you.
Well, are you going to show your face?
Yeah, sorry. I gotta give Chrome permission here.
Dude. Kathy Wood's in shambles. My goodness.
I got to rejoin. I need to relaunch Chrome. Here, let's circle back.
You think Kathy Woods is ever going to capitulate from just 100% growth?
No, I think tomorrow she'll probably say ARK has a lot of upside and can 5x in the next 5 years.
I mean, the beatdown it's taken sounds possible.
I don't even think so. Because I mean, like, how many of these companies are actually innovating?
Yeah, that's true.
Like what does Teladoc do that Apple can't?
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't T-Doc have a huge competitor now? Like Amazon or something?
What was that?
Doesn't T-Doc have a huge competitor as well? I think it's Amazon, right?
Or probably FaceTime, because I'm pretty sure that's all it is, just scheduling appointments over the phone with your doctor.
Yeah.
So someone had a comment in our YouTube section saying that Kathy
There
Wood
we
is
go.
like Kramer these days, just do the opposite.
Kathy is the OG Kramer.
Yeah, I mean, she sold her Tesla position, most of it, and then I mean that would have been her biggest winner. She would have been okay if she kept that, I think.
Yeah, last year Tesla was up like 35%, and like that's Kathy's thing. Like everyone knows her and Tesla, but her fund was down like 45%. You know, so
Yeah, she decreased her holdings by a lot.
All right. Can you guys see this?
Sure can.
Yep.
All right. So I went over this briefly in the reel yesterday. So I think we're gonna have a pause here. I said it yesterday, based off FANG earnings this week, and you know Facebook's performance today kind of supports that idea. But so I took this anchored view up of the, remember that tech rally we had in September of 2020, where I think it pulled back like 30% in the Nasdaq. I took a view up of that, and these green bands here are standard deviation bands. So we've been respecting this upper band for a while. We broke down in January of this year. And between the view up and that standard deviation, we've been kind of just chopping around all year.
Mhm.
So we're coming back into the view up to test it. There's a gap down here around 4,400. I think we're going to test it at some point, but I also think there's a high likelihood that we're going to go sideways, like macro picture. We're going to go sideways for a bit until is it next week that we have Powell? Yeah. So I think that's going to be a catalyst. The thing is, like the 2018 bear market was like, let me see if I can find it. A lot of this here, you see, just chop, 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 and then it nuked, and then that's when the recovery started. So I think like we're down a lot from all-time highs already. I don't think it's crazy to expect like sideways action before just a capitulation down to like 360 or something.
Yeah, it looks very similar to the 2018 kind of bearish, channel.
Yeah. So, I'm not like pulled up here or anything, but I think the aggressive puts on, growth names that have just been getting hammered, I think the opportunity kind of came and went for a lot of those. But, it's earnings season. Anything can happen. Macro, I'm still quite bearish on everything here. But, we're into some pretty key levels, and I think 4,000's very likely to be defended, like on the first time we retest it. But I do think we will end up retesting it, before this is all said and done.
Yeah, I agree. So we're kind of headed into a bounce zone, but then eventually we are headed downwards, right? That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going lower, but I think straight down is kind of, it's a good time to put a pause on that, I think.
Yeah.
I definitely think we should just play it like from FOMC to FOMC, just hear
Right.
what they have to say, and they have any changes. If they don't have any changes, then we're just going to keep trending the same way we're trending. And that's how it was for the way up, and that's how it's going to be the same way for the way down. If they make no drastic changes, the trend's going to stay the same. And right now the trend is down.
Yeah. So, Jason, I just wanted to bring you on to talk about some of the things that we have lined up. Changes with OSA and certain announcements that we have. Do you want to take over? I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see the chat section, Jem. Thank you for that message. And I think more than anything, like these live streams, it's like hard for everyone to like see all of us all the time, right? I think it's really easy to like see our display pictures and us in Discord and us on Instagram and all these kind of things, but it's hard to actually, see who's behind, Biden Dips and, who's Warwick and who's Kabir and all this kind of stuff. So really, it's just great to have, all of you all just kind of here together, us just talking about, anything and everything. I think over time, we're going to start kind of curating more and more kind of topics from our community. So that way, during these live streams, we can make sure we're talking about, certain things that people want to learn about or hear our opinions on, and that kind of stuff too. But it's all a work in progress, and we're trying to bring you guys more and more, resources and value, especially just being part of our community. So with that said, one of the biggest announcements is with OSA. We're going to be launching OSA 2.0, and we're currently in the process and kind of have been for a little while now in terms of getting ready to launch this new and improved version. Though we launched OSA probably like 6 months ago, we decided that there was going to be some more feature improvements that we would need. There's going to be some more courses that we want to add into, all that stuff. And so we decided to essentially take it offline so that we can revamp, relaunch the platform in a new way and in a better way. And then from there, re-release it again. And so for anyone who is currently an OSA member today, you will not be charged for OSA during the time that we are offline. We are going to take care of making sure everyone, subscription is frozen for, again, OSA only. But as soon as things are getting ready, we'll start making more announcements, and then we'll eventually do a launch again and get everyone back inside. But during this time, everyone won't be able to access it on our website. It's going to read sold out. But just be aware that we're getting ready to relaunch something even better, to you all.
Jim, OSA is the OS Academy. It's like an online learning platform we made.
Yeah, and just to answer another question before, no, I am not Kevin. I wish I was though, but yeah, I'm not Kevin. And another thing I see a lot of people joining a bit after. So if you missed the previous part, you can just watch our video on YouTube once this is over. And from next time onwards, we'll try to start at 4:30 to give you guys enough time after market close to adjust. And we'll be starting this at 4:30 going forward. And back to you, Jason.
Cool, Kabir. Next, yeah. All right, so the only other thing that I want to mention is today, starting today, till Friday market close, we're going to be running this 40% off on our monthly memberships. Not going to talk too much about it because I don't want to be too salesy, but obviously it's a great opportunity to save some money for those of you who are going to either want to try out our service or may want to save some money. So again, just keep that in mind, but use Finance 40 right at checkout, and you can just check out through our website. All right, and so I guess we're going to go ahead and kind of announce the most valuable traders of April. And so our two winners is ABS as well as GFast Profits. Both of them are Discord members today, and we'll go ahead and make that announcement inside of our Discord server in a few moments. But congratulations to ABS and GFast Profits. We'll be reaching out to you. We'll get some information for you, and then we'll be sending you some really cool prizes. So
absolutely killed it, guys. Good job. Yeah. Ab, you killed it. You recovered your portfolio really nicely, and you paid yourself. I see that you showed your withdrawals and GFAS. You're famous in our server right now, but you're killing it.
Yeah.
I saw today Abs's portfolio was up 20,000 something. So big congrats to you and awesome job. Okay, moving on. So now we're just gonna have our last part of this stream, which is any question and answers you guys might have about, maybe you want us to look at some ticker symbols. Maybe you want us to, maybe you want to ask someone, one of the moderators more about their backstory or any specific place. So now would be the time. Go ahead on our YouTube, comment section, and we'll just directly respond to the questions in the stream. Is there anything else that you guys would want to talk about right now while we wait for the questions to fill up?
I guess we can address one of the comments saying that many blew their accounts following our roulette gambles during ER. might as well go to Vegas. This is something we do every earnings season because people in our server already know the risks that we're taking. But I keep doing it because this is how I grew my portfolio exponentially. You can be the best trader and grow your portfolio 100% in a year, but if you take the risk, you're not going to make the money if you don't take the risk. Is how I trade. So I wouldn't say it's definitely gambling, but I mean, if you know the risk you're taking, you should know how much to put in it. You shouldn't be blowing your portfolio. If you're going all in on an ER, I mean, I don't want to say you deserve it, but you shouldn't be trading because like why join option swing if you're going to go all in on a gamble, right? The ER season we use it for fun, and if it's big, good for us. If it doesn't, it's not going to hurt us because we're not putting our entire portfolio in it. So.
Yeah, and the way Dan's been trading earnings too, he's letting it run to like 100, 200% before earnings, and then taking half off and swinging the rest. We have multiple channels. One of them is high risk. That's not just a name; it's actually high risk. And we have safer positioning and equity swing trades.
Yeah, absolutely. I think majority of the time we're trying to preach, consistent profits and consistent trading and not giving up our gains. But ER season is ER season. That's when we, gotta. It is a gamble, and that's what we do. And it wouldn't make sense if we're going over, 1% of our portfolio into a high risk position, which is what we've been doing. So, yeah, that to answer that question. And I also see another question here from Ryan. Not a question, but a comment, I guess. Ryan is saying that he'd like to see us all live trading during trading hours. What do you guys think about that? Is that something we could do? Maybe market open, market close, or?
It's kind of hard. I mean, market opens super early, and then we have other jobs too. So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's something we could look into in the future, maybe for sure, though. Yeah. Thanks, Ryan, for your comment.
Yeah, I feel like the live trading would be more for like day trading and scalping. I don't think we do much of that, but I mean, we can do live commentary. That's not too bad of an idea.
Yeah, maybe.
I actually was talking to someone who's like an actual professional trader who was considering doing some kind of like in the morning, like first hour open, like live stream kind of once a week or something like that. I'll definitely consider that feedback. I think what I'm kind of hearing is like people would get a lot of value out of seeing us also like in the mornings talking about the markets and looking at different like opportunities that are kind of going on. So I'll definitely take that feedback into consideration. I do want to try to offer some way for internally us to live stream more often versus just always publicly.
Live commentary would be the way to go for us. Maybe, if it's a specific earnings review that we're looking at or market open of a significant week in the market. That's something I think we'd all love to do that.
100%. Another thing is also I want to bring more members on to the stream. We try to do it this kind of time around, but I know some people were shy. But if I know Cody, your camera ready, so I see you over there. But if other members of our community want to kind of like come on and just like talk, ask questions, we could maybe even turn it into one of those, like not necessarily a one-on-one, but if you wanted to spend some time learning and so forth, I'm sure there's other people with similar questions that could also benefit from that. So, all in all, we'll definitely try to think of more ways to engage people through live streams.
Yeah, for sure. And just to keep in mind, guys who are watching, like our members, between now and the next stream, we're going to be, watching out for members with awesome trades and technical analysis to have them come on and just, talk about their experience of being in option swing and how, they went about their play and their winning trade. So that would be awesome to have you guys on there next time. And we'll save up a slot for 2 members to come and talk about their winning trades and technical analysis.
Havada has a question for me asking about since puts are expensive these days, where can we find most value? I would look into, if you have a margin account, I'll look into selling credit spreads. If you're still bearish, I'll look into selling credit spreads on the call side. If not, just wait until the market chops. Chop kills IV, kills both premiums, and then get into it. I think that's the only advice after that.
And then AJ, do you have to learn the economic side of trading more than you had to learn the technicals.
It's a great question.
I think you could get by with only technicals, but I don't think you could get by with only fundamentals. So
Yeah, this entire room is a very technical heavy, you know.
Yeah, but I do think there should be some sort of middle ground there. I think Dan has just like mastered that, honestly. Kevin as well. You know,
understand sentiment.
The underlying, yeah, exactly. And that's not necessarily something you need to go take finance classes for, you know, but having an understanding of, you know, what the Fed has been doing and what they're doing now really goes a long way, you know, and getting short when it was time to, you know, and same with like buying the COVID bottom when Kevin did. None of us believed it, but he had a reason for doing that was not technical whatsoever. And it turned out to be, you know, I think it was his best trade he's ever made. So, you know, I tend to focus on technicals, but you can't discount, you know, sentiment. You can't discount Fed policy or any of that.
Yeah, so I think having a mix of both is like really the perfect thing for being a consistent trader.
Yeah, like I don't think you need to know someone's like EPS or their balance sheet or anything like that, but just like
no, but like even like basic technical analysis, like one of the most common questions is like, what strike do we look at? You know, like what strike is a good strike price? And it's like with basic technical analysis, you know, you can just look at, you know, support and resistances. And hypothetically speaking on resistances, if we know that there's a strong resistance level at $80, you know, we're not going to try to pick a strike that's, you know, necessarily 85 or 90 or 95 or 100,
right?
Because we know that more likely than not, it will test that resistance first, probably fall off that resistance line, and then maybe break through it again. But the chance of it just blasting right through it and still keep going, you know, endlessly, that's just not really how it really works unless there's a huge catalyst. And so even as simple as, you know, I always, you say keep things simple more than anything, but I always say, you know, look at the basics of technical analysis, look at the basics of trend lines and support lines, understand, you know, momentum and use certain indicators that help kind of with that. But all in all, it's better to not overthink things too much, because the worst is when you actually do make a play and then you're sitting there second guessing every single moment of it. And then you're having a miserable time watching this tick away and all that kind of stuff. It's like, if you overcomplicate it, you'll also, you know, feel very overcomplicated. But if you simplify it, then you know exactly what your targets are trying to hit, and you can kind of make better decisions that way.
Yeah, and for people trying to learn more about fundamentals, our next OSA trail is going to be fundamental basics, for which we will start a series on. So that's something to look forward to. And another thing, I see another awesome question here from AJ. It's what is your risk management strategy when it comes to getting in a trade? Who wants to take that on?
I think that kind of depends. I think it depends on you. Like if you're okay with risking $500, like let's say $1,500 position with a 30% stop, you should probably just trade with $500 and then be open to where the trade goes. I think that's probably the best thing you can do. And then after that, use something to sort of invalidate your trade, whether it's support resistance or an EMA or a VWAP, something like that.
And also there's a time to go heavy, and then there's a time to be more conservative with your position sizing. I think a lot of people miss the nuance there. You know, they end up going really heavy when it's a time to be conservative, and then they blow up. Because they were going too conservative when it was time to go heavy, and they missed, you know, the gigantic profits that, you know, traders like Dan got during the tail end of that run. You know, in my opinion, right now is not a time to be going heavy in either direction. So, you know, I'm trading way less than I used to. I'm sizing less than I used to. And it's been going great, honestly. Like, that's the thing, is that the market ebbs and flows, you know, like even though I think we're going lower, it's going to go back up at some point, and I will be sizing much heavier than I am now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think depending on the market conditions and like, for example, if there's a lot of upside incoming to the market, then, you know, sizing heavier and taking more trades is not, you know, a bad thing. Whereas now, because of the kind of indecisive period we're in, lowering our sizing and taking lesser trades is the way to go. So it's very, you know, dependent on market conditions.
Absolutely.
So I started doing the same size on all my positions up until this month when I hit Netflix. But all my position sizing was 5K positions, and I only have a lot of positions when the market's trending. If it's chop, I have maybe one or two, but when it's trending, I have multiple, and I'm just constantly rolling. Everybody knows me for that, for rolling positions, meaning that as soon as one position goes in the money or it hits 100%, I trim that in half and I roll those profits into a strike that's further out, and that kind of just snowballs into a really big position. Sometimes I find myself having $40,000 on one company, but I started with 5,000. So it's all profit. So I just trim on the way up or down. But risk, how much am I risking? That's about 1% or 2% of my portfolio, around there, each position.
We got a comment saying, Will, let us know when you do size heavy on the trading floor, please and thank you.
Sure. I probably wouldn't phrase it like that, but I'll say it's a conviction trade. No problem.
Or you'll probably just see Will like trading it more, because right now it's like NFTs because that's going well. So I think the attention will shift.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why roll? Because if you roll your position to a strike that's further out the money, it's going to pay faster if it keeps going in that trend, because you're essentially moving something that's in the money that doesn't move as fast into something that's outside of the money, which is all kind of just made up by market makers, and they decide how much that stock is going to move. It's called the implied move. So I always try to pick something that's like right at the edge of the implied move or one strike outside of it. So let's say you get a $2 move on Facebook, that's instantly 50% because they already moved more than what the market maker was trying to price in. So I always try to row my strike out into something that's outside of the implied move. And that's how we get these like 200% plays in the same day or the next day, because it's just trending in that way. Ooh, NFT question. Often trading. I don't know. We keep each other's profits to one another.
I would say Dan, yeah, or Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin, probably, for sure.
Will, your NFT journey has been really fun to watch, according to Cody.
yeah, it's been really fun to participate in too.
Yeah,
Just absolute windfall. I think I'm up like 100x since the beginning of January. Like, no joke.
Wow. And you're just like stockpiling all that SOL?
Yeah, and I'm pulling money out too, because like I said, I think we go lower, and crypto's going to go even lower than stocks will. So
yeah, if we,
yeah, so it's tricky. It's like the baseline currency that I'm trading with, I think, is going to drop another 50%. So it's just like a matter of, make 10 grand, pull out, 4. But yeah, it's been great. It's just it is a bit. I feel like there's an expiration date to it all.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Just trying to find any other questions or comments.
My room looks like a cheap apartment. How?
Yeah, I'm in a house, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so
and then we probably just haven't pulled out our money from our brokerage, so we can't spend it.
Should we make our announcements for the diamond winners?
Yeah, they're ready.
This is a good time.
Yeah,
cool, guys. Okay, so in that case, the final kind of announcements, I guess, will be for our diamond winners. For those of you who don't know what a diamond winner is, there are yearly members. And with those winners, there's 2 prizes that we're giving out. The first place, not really first place, but the first winner will get an iPad Air. And then the second winner is going to get a free year subscription to our community. So without further ado, the winners are, first and foremost, for the iPad Air, Chad Candle. And then for the 1 year free membership, it's going to be Neo. So congratulations to Chad Candle and Neo. We're going to DM you shortly just to confirm with you guys. But otherwise, congratulations again on winning some cool prizes.
Yeah, some really cool prizes. Congratulations, guys.
Go. I don't think they're on. Congratulations in case you guys are watching.
Yeah, hopefully they sign up to Discord and find out that they won.
Any other questions, guys? I think that does it.
Okay, if you don't have any other questions, then I think we are good to conclude this fourth stream. And thank you. Oh, yeah.
Last thing, Jays is absolutely a robot. Jays is not a real person.
Good closing line.
Sorry, I had to answer that. I couldn't not answer it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
We're going to conclude it here with the fact that Jace is a robot, and that ends our fourth live stream. And thank you guys for participating and making this, awesome to be a part of. And thanks to everyone for tuning in.
Sure.
Thank you all.
See you guys. And if you guys have any individual questions, we'll be in the Discord. Just let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
All
Okay.
right. Bye, everyone.
Talk to you guys later.